Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Gilmore Girls, Season 1, Episode 7, Kiss and Tell. Oh, you guys, this just brings back so much for me. I love this season. I love this episode. So many funny things happen, and let's get into it. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. We start off with Lorelai and Rory walking around town. And can I just say, this is my favorite version of Stars Hollow. Look at all the pumpkins, the orange, the fall, the jackets. I love it. It's so sweet. Lorelai talks about not having clean clothes. Turns out Rory's secretly been doing laundry. So there's some funny scenes there. I just love the banter between these two. So cute, so funny. Walk into Luke's and we see Taylor Dosey, and he's really giving it to Luke, and it's so funny because this is the Taylor we know. He's hounding Luke about putting up fall decorations for the autumn festival. This is a big deal to the town. Taylor tells him, "You've lived here in this town a long time. It's time you became one of us." And they're trying to get breakfast. They're trying to get Luke's attention, and Rory yells out, "My mom's not wearing any underwear." And they seem to have not heard it. And they finally give up, and they go get breakfast themselves. So they get breakfast, they go to leave, and Luke says, "Hey, no tip?" And Lorelai says, "Here's a tip, serve your customers." Luke says, "Here's a tip, don't sit on any cold benches." So he did hear the comment. We got the opening credits. You know how I feel about that. Love that song, love the scenes. Let's get into it. So Rory she's going into Dosey's market. Dean is setting up a Mayflower out of cans because of Taylor. Oh, Taylor being Taylor, it's so funny. So she's walking around and trying to spy on him. She grabs some cornstarch. So he notices her. He comes over to her. It's just such a cute moment. So Dean comes over and teases her about the cornstarch. He offers her a soda. He makes her pick which hand it's in. And first kiss. So cute. So they had their first kiss right there at Dosey's market. And they're both, I think, a little surprised by it. And it's just a cute scene. Rory ends up saying thank you after the kiss. So Rory takes off running, and she's running through the town. She runs straight over to her best friend Lane's at Kim's Antiques. So she just kind of walks in and finds Lane and says, "I got kissed." And she says, "I can't believe I got kissed." And Lane's super excited for her. She says she shoplifted cornstarch. They're laughing about it, and then who walks up? Lane's mom. You gotta be super careful around Miss Kim. She's very strict. So Rory's saying, "I got kissed," and Miss Kim says, "By who?" And Lane says, "The Lord, Mama." And she's like, "Oh, okay," and she walks off. But they're secretly still celebrating that she got kissed. It's so cute. And then we go over to Lorelai's house, and she is dealing with a broken fridge. Rory comes in. She's super excited about everything, and she's trying to maybe tell her mom. It looks like she wants to tell her, but she gets frustrated because her mom is so frustrated and stuck on the phone, and so she doesn't end up telling her. Later on, Lorelai goes to see Mrs. Kim. She goes to pick up a rocker that she had bought a few weeks ago. And Miss Kim says, "Maybe you should be less busy, and then you'll remember your chair." And then she says, "You can keep your daughter from running around kissing boys. Lane is a young, impressionable girl. She doesn't need to hear about your daughter kissing boys." And Lorelai is completely shocked by this news. Mrs. Kim says she kissed a boy at the grocery store. And Lorelai says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. She didn't tell me." And she says she has to leave, and she leaves the chair behind. We see Lane and Rory dressed up like pilgrims for the harvest, and they're talking about the kiss, and Lane has done a bunch of research on Dean. She says she has a crush on his best friend, so Rory promises to set them up. Over at Luke's, Miss Patty and her friend are giving Luke a hard time about the fall decorations, Meanwhile, Lorelai's a million miles away. She's staring out the window, and she's sad because Rory tells her everything, and she didn't tell her about this. So she's watching her. Luke comes over and is like, "You're not mad about the fall decorations too, are you?" And she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And so she doesn't tell him why she's mad. Mad's not the right word. More sad that Rory didn't tell her. So Rory comes in for a minute, and Lorelai's trying to get her to talk about it. So she tells her this insane story about a soap opera where some people kissed, hoping that that'll lead into a story. And Rory just doesn't understand where the heck she's going. She still doesn't tell her mom. She takes a sip of the coffee. She ends up going back out, but it doesn't go well. So Lorelai's walking through town. She ends up going into Dosey's Market to check out Dean. She's sneaking around and trying to get glimpses of him. And she's watching him bag. She doesn't like how he bags the lemons. And Luke scares the crap out of her. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And Luke ran out of cream, so he ran over. Lorelai says Rory had her first kiss, and that's the guy that did it. And Luke says, "You're not going to kill the bag boy." Lorelai and Luke walk around, and they talk about why Rory didn't tell her about the kiss. And then she talks about Dean. Dean looks like Christopher, who is Rory's dad. So Rory comes home that evening, and she goes to get food out of the fridge, and Lorelai just can't take it anymore. She said, "So you kissed any good boys lately?" And Rory goes, "What?" And Lorelai says, "Miss Kim told me." She said, "When did you find out?" "This morning." Rory says, "You could have said something." And Lorelai says, "Well, so could you." Lorelai pretends to be fine with it, but it's weird between them. So Lorelai and Rory decide they're going to have a movie night. They go into town to get some snacks. Rory's nervous standing outside of Dosey's because Dean might be in there. So Lorelai promises to be cool. She ends up meeting Dean. And it's weird. It's just funny. So Lorelai tells Rory, "See, I told you it'd be fine, so chill out." And she ends up calling her supermarket slut. That's my favorite line of the episode. She called her supermarket slut because she kissed in the supermarket. So they make a plan where Rory's going to go get the movie before the shop closes, and she walks off. Dean brings out the red vines that they forgot to take with them, and Lorelai invites Dean to the movie night. And he's kind of like, and Lorelai says, "Well, it's totally casual and Rory would love it." She ends up telling Rory, and Rory freaks out. She says, "Are you crazy? We haven't even been out on our first date yet, and now he's coming over to hang out with my mother? He's the boy I like." And Lorelai says, "I know, I was looking for one you hated, but it was hard on such short notice." And she says, "I wasn't trying to humiliate you, I just screwed up, and it won't be so bad. We'll have pizza and a movie. It won't feel like your mother is there." So back at the house, Rory's freaking out over what to wear. Lorelai is trying to help her relax and pick out an outfit. And they set up a buffet of sugar treats, and it seems like he's running late, so they're getting nervous. So Lorelai looks out the window, and she sees that Babette is talking to him. So she goes out, and she realizes he's been there for 30 minutes, stuck with Babette, trying to be nice. So it's a little awkward at first. Lorelai's trying to make them feel comfortable, and she offers to show him around, and it's just weird. You know, it's his first date with Rory, and her mom's there, and everybody's nervous. So the doorbell rings, and it's Suki. She's brought over dessert. Lorelai's trying to usher her away so she doesn't make things more nerve-wracking. Meanwhile, the pizza arrives, and they come looking for Lorelai, and Suki, they figure out Suki's there, and she says, "Hey, Dean," and she's like, "Oh, I don't know why I know your name." So they end up watching Willy Wonka together. They have a fun time. Dean's being really nice about everything. Lorelai doesn't want to be weird, so she excuses herself. She's hanging out in the kitchen with a magazine. Rory comes in and is like, "Mom, what are you doing? You have to get back in there." And Rory tells her, when Dean kissed her at the market, she said, "Thank you." So Lorelai comes back into the room and says, "Rory's washing her face." And Lorelai ends up having a talk with Dean, saying, "I don't know how to say this. This is a different house you walked into tonight. Rory's my daughter. She's a smart kid. That girl in there, she's beloved around here. This is a small, weird place you moved to, and there's a lot of eyes on you. Dean says, you can lay on all the rules you want and have the whole town watch me, but I need you not to hate me because you're her best friend, and if you hate me, she will too. So that makes Lorelai like Dean even more. So Rory walks Dean out, and he kisses her again. She goes in to talk to Lorelai, and Lorelai says, I really wanted you to tell me about the kiss. I'm not mad, I just wanted to know about it. And Rory is sorry, things are weird, she's headed off to bed, but she comes back in and says, I know this is lame and totally after the fact, and she trails off, and Lorelai says, you leave anything out, you die. So Rory starts to very excitedly tell Lorelai all about the kiss, and that's how the show ends. All is right in the world again. The relationship is great. She's worried about it becoming like her and her mother where they don't talk. So it's nice that they end the episode like that. Such a good episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recap. I love watching Gilmore Girls and talking about it. Let me know your thoughts below. I love all the comments. I read them all. And follow me here. Follow me on Twitter @RealRecaps. And I thank you guys for everything. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.